How's it going, everyone? This is Brad Williams with Over 40 Fitness Hacks. I have my new season co-star with me, Tina McDermott. How's it going, Tina?
Fantastic, fantastic, Brad. How are you?
Good. Thanks for being on the show.
Thank you.
All right. So Tina McDermott is our inspirational chef for weight loss and coaching. She's a personal trainer, real into cooking at home, and has some tips for our audience. And we'd love to have you tell us about it. Just like always, our audience knows when we get a new co-star, we kind of like to go in the overview of how you got into everything. Obviously, we know it probably started with personal training, but however far back you want to go and what you have to say. So I'll let you take it from here, Tina.
Oh, absolutely, Brad. Thank you. I love it. I'm the co-star. That is adorable. I absolutely love that. That just tickles me pink. And thank you. Yes, I call myself the lazy inspirational chef. Yeah. I'm a speaker. I'm a weight loss coach. I've been doing this for 21 plus years. And I can tell you, Brad, this is my love. This is my passion. And there's no place that I'd rather be than here talking to your people, your audience, all about how they can live a life that's full of health, that's full of vibrancy and free from dis-ease, free from, I gotta go to the gym, free from diets, free from all of those things. So, and also that how they can find joy in the kitchen, even if they don't know how to cook, or even if they don't like to cook. And so that's me. That's like the me in like a little tiny little nutshell. But you can't put me in a nutshell, because, right? You can't put me in a nutshell. But you asked me, how did I get started, right?
Yeah.
I can go way, way, way back. When I was a little girl, I was anorexic as a kid, never ate. And then I discovered food. And my mom would call me on her way back from work, and I would say, I'm hungry, let me get dinner started. So I was always in the kitchen. Also, I'm an Italian. So my parents are literally off the boat, and Italians are in the kitchen all the time, especially the girls. I'm not saying that the boys aren't in the kitchen, but they're not required to be in the kitchen. I am. So I was always in the kitchen with my mom, and one of the worst tasks was always cutting up the garlic. But now we figured out how to get the garlic smell off of your fingertips. So cooking from home has always been, it's a part of who I am. It's a part of my cells. It's a part of life where, and that's where family comes together, right? That's where family comes together. We're in the kitchen, we're making food together, and then we're sitting at the table and we're eating together. It was a priority. You sat at the table and you waited for dad to come home before we ate, because we had to eat as a family. So to me, it's the epitome of health and wellness, spiritually, physically, mentally. All of that is the family unit, cooking together and eating together. That kind of got a little lost, Brad, through the years, where people thought that food came through from a drive-through versus a farm, right? Versus putting it together in your kitchen. And I always look at the positive of things in life, even when things are crazy like the pandemic, and I don't like to talk about it too much, but one of the good things that came of it is that people came back to the kitchen. They came back to, they had to cook for themselves, and they had to come back and learn that it doesn't come from a drive-through, that you have to learn how to prepare your food, which is why I started doing tons of cooking shows. I probably did upwards of 5 a week last year for my clients, to teach them, again, how they can, even if they don't know how to cook or like to cook, you can find joy in the kitchen. You can find joy in the small things, and in just smelling herbs, and the fact that you're putting all this love into your food, and therefore love in your body, resulting in what? Healthy, vibrant, healthy, happy you. So that's kind of sort of my origins. And I know I can talk forever about it, but I just want to go on forever.
in my head for the Italian family, real family oriented cooking, everything. I just see like, especially, the traditional way, the 7-course meals, homemade pastas, all that kind of stuff. How did you take that theory and kind of morph it into more healthier type eating? And
well, okay. Yeah, a lot of people think that all the Italians sit down for hours and hours and hours to eat, and they don't. They do that at weddings and
Oh, okay.
funerals, okay? Or if we're going to go out for a special occasion, we'll be all around the table for 3 hours or whatever it is. But they don't do the 7 courses on a nightly basis, on a daily basis. They do that only on major special occasions, right?
Yeah.
And, for Christmas, the holidays, getting together for a birthday, we'll do really lots of food. But for the most part, we don't. And having had a lot of health struggles through my life, that it was a heartbreak to my mother when I told her I couldn't eat pasta any longer. And my husband looks at me and goes, "You're not Italian. Or what kind of good Italian are you? You don't eat pasta." I'm like, "Well, I'll make you zoodles, and that's my kind of pasta," because I can't eat and gluten gets used a little bit too much these days, but
Yep.
it's not just gluten. It's a whole plethora of things that disrupt the balance of your health and wellness, especially if you were compromised, your health had been compromised from whatever illness you might have had. I don't want to get too deep into it, but I suffered through Lyme disease for many years, and that taught me so much of what are the right foods to eat, what are the foods not to eat, what's going to affect your brain in a bad way, like MSG. Where is MSG hidden? And because I know that if I have any kind of MSG in my body, I cannot put sentences together. I could not tell you what I parked my car on. Like, is that a drive? That it was a drive? I can't find words because of chemicals that I had in my body. So to answer your question, through my life experience, we don't sit down to 7-course meals. We sit down to every meal is very well balanced, where we love our vegetables, we love our protein, and we love our good fats. There's no imbalance here. There's not just a protein diet or just a vegetable plant-based diet. It's very well-rounded with a little bit of fat, lots of vegetables, and some good protein. So I've just kind of taken all of my education throughout the years, along with the tradition of wanting to cook at home.
Yeah.
And we cook well-balanced meals. We eat well-balanced meals, my husband and I, and when I'm with my family. And that's how I teach people to cook well-balanced, easy, simple meals.
Awesome. Yeah, I know. I believe the same thing. There's just so much gluten put in our stuff, and I'm one of those who really didn't pay attention to that. But I think maybe because I started getting closer to 40, of all these little allergies, food allergies, allergic reactions are happening to me, and I started really fine-tuning all my stuff, and gluten was a huge one for me. I have this real bloating feeling, not feeling very well after eating even just a couple chips. And now since I've taken it all out, I feel like $1,000,000 all the time. But that's kind of when I'm at the age now where I'm just so sick of having all these issues. I'm like cleaning up everything I do just because I want to have the healthiest, happiest life I can. So I feel you.
I love it. I love it. I absolutely love it. And you're right, is that as we get older, I'm 54. As we get older, it's an accumulative effect. It's the load in your body. It's the load over the years that have gotten stored in your cells. And you get to a point where you start to develop these sensitivities that then could turn into major full-out allergies. Although to me, if you have a sensitivity, you have an allergy. Okay. It's
only going to get worse.
It's only going to get worse. So, for example, I can eat a little bit of gluten. I can eat a little bit because I'm so clean, so that if I eat a little bit, I'll feel it, but within 24 hours, it's out of my system, right? And because, we live in a world, we have to have a little fun. We have to have a little birthday cake. My husband had his birthday this past weekend. I had a little bit of cake. And, I'm okay. The next day, I didn't have, 100% energy, but maybe I had 85% energy, which is, it's okay. I paid for it. I'm okay with that. But yeah, gluten's everywhere. Gluten is everywhere, and it really contributes to the bloating, the gas, and most importantly, it contributes to brain health. Brain damage. There's a gut-brain connection, And when I do eat gluten the next day, I have a hard time with the energy levels, but it's the MSG that really turns my brain off. But anyhow, gluten has a damaging effect on the brain as well.
Absolutely.
It's awesome.
Yeah. Well, Tina,
That's awesome.
Tina, if anyone wants to get a hold of you, is there you mentioned your YouTube, but what about all your other plugs, social media, website? How does someone reach out to you?
My website is tinamcdermott.com. And if you want the breakthrough session, it's tinamcdermott.com/breakthrough.
Cool.
If you want to get onto my YouTube channel, guess what it is? It's tinamcdermott.com/cooking show. And I do have a free ebook if you want my free ebook. It's called The Joyful Gut Reboot Guide. And it's, of course, tinamcdermott.com/JG for Joyful Gut.
Awesome. And all my audience knows I'll put all of that in the podcast description so they can just click on all those links too. But once again, thank you, Tina, for being on this show. And maybe another time we'll get you on here. And I'm sure you're just a wealth of knowledge. We got many more topics to go over.
Absolutely, Brad. Thank you for having me on the show today. Thank you.
Absolutely.
And namaste.
Yeah. Namaste.